the channel, or welcome back to the channel. So last week Sam filmed a video where he talked about his top tips and what he's learned as a new dad, and specifically for new dads, and his top tips for anyone becoming a new dad. And today I'm gonna do that, but the mom version. So these are my top tips. I have 5 plus a bonus one, so 6 actually. But these are my top things that I would tell a new mom or someone just asking for advice in motherhood. Most of it's in my head, guys, but I am going to be looking at my phone just because I did write a few things down and kind of reflect. My first one is particularly about postpartum, that postpartum time when you first bring the baby home. My first tip is that. But even beyond that, I would say the first 3 months, but specifically, especially at first, when those first like 8 to 10 weeks. I said in that postpartum period, you should only be concerned for 3 things. Everything else should kind of fall to the sidelines. So in postpartum, I would only focus on bonding for the baby, healing and relaxation for mom, and establishing your new family and what that looks like. So let me explain. In postpartum, I've said it before, we've said it on this channel before when we've done parenting advice. I think the house is gonna be a mess. I think things are gonna be a little chaotic, but in this season, obviously you don't want your house to always be a mess, you know, because you had a baby like a year later, or you don't want things to always be chaotic. That's not functional, you know, it's gonna drive you crazy. But in this season, those things can kind of take a back seat, and you should be focused on, like I said, bonding for the baby, healing for mom, establishing new family. So bonding for your baby, because those first days and those first weeks of the bonding, you're never going to get that back, and it's never going to be like that again. So just bonding, and bonding helps breastfeeding, all of that. And then also I say healing and relaxation for mom, because you just gave birth and you do need to heal, and relaxation is going to help that. And it's hard to relax with a newborn, so when you can, you should. And then also just healing, you should also be, as much as you're focused on caring for your new newborn and that bonding and the taking care of your new newborn, you should also be focused on making sure that you heal properly and you heal well and you're doing good as someone who just gave birth to this baby. And what I mean by establishing your new family is this video is particularly for new parents, so like first-time parents. But so you're going from having no children and being in a relationship with this person, or being with this person and having no children, to now having this little newborn that you guys have to keep alive. And that's a huge life adjustment, and you have to slowly learn what that is and what your new family is going to look like. And even though this whole video is more for first-time moms, that goes for any time you have a baby. So when you have your second kid, your family dynamic's gonna change, and you have to slowly learn what that's gonna look like, and slowly kind of fall into that, learn it, and just like establish it in your household, establish those bonds between siblings, establish those bonds between mom, between dad, between baby, and between mom and dad now, like that new relationship, that new correlation. It's just what the new normal looks like, and gaining those new routines, and learning what it's going to be like now to be a family of 3, a family of 4, a family of 5, however, whatever season you're in. And there's no better time than the postpartum time to do that, because things kind of slow down, even though they speed up as far as taking care of the baby and the sleepless nights and all that, but they slow down as far as like you're focused on this thing, this new baby, this new life, and this bonding and this postpartum period. And I'm not going to get into it for this video in detail, because I think it's a whole new video. But to go along with that and the whole bonding and healing and establishing a new family, it would help to kind of do some research on the 4th trimester and what that is, and how you should be taking care of yourself and taking care of your baby in that 4th trimester, and what is believed about that. And maybe I'll link some stuff if you guys don't know, but do some research and do what fits you, you know, in that research, because I feel like we spend so much time when we're pregnant caring for mom, caring for baby, you know, prenatal care and visits and all that stuff, and really, you know, trying to take care of mom, trying to take care of that growing baby. But when you have the baby, you know, the care gets put on, oh, as long as you're healed in the 6 to 8 weeks, everything's good. And we don't really focus on that 4th trimester and what that is, you know, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And it is important as well as your other 3 trimesters. So if you don't know what that is, research it a little bit. And then my second one is, I said take people's advice, but with a grain of salt. And what I mean by that is, I would take some people's advice, you know, certain advice. Like I would weed it out between you and your partner, what you guys want to kind of ignore as unsolicited advice and what you guys want to take sometimes, you know, because people might have actual good advice, but also take it with a grain of salt, because you want to make sure that your parenting decisions are you and your partner, or your parenting decisions, depending who's parenting the child. You want to make sure, if you're a single parent, those are your decisions. If you are parenting with a partner, you want to make sure that your parenting decisions are you and your partner's parenting decisions, and that no one's kind of infiltrating or forcing decisions that you wouldn't otherwise make for your child. You want to make sure that the parenting is done by you and your partner. And advice can be taken if it's really good advice, or if you're like, oh yeah, we thought about that, but it should just be taken with a grain of salt. And you want to make sure that that your family unit is your family unit, and you're not letting people kind of change your way that you want to parent. You want to make sure that if it's advice, it's taken because you appreciate it and you agree with it and your partner agrees with it, and you know, you take it, versus kind of being almost I don't want to say manipulated, but like you're kind of, you know, in that postpartum period, you could be impressionable, and sometimes you're second guessing yourself with your new baby, and people's advice can kind of cause anxiety. And you want to make sure that that's not what's happening. That if you're taking advice from someone, it's because it's good advice and you want to take it, versus like letting your anxiety get to you as a new mom. That's all I'm saying. So just a grain of salt. And then my third one is a fun one, but also I just wanted to say it like, I want to say, like, don't be afraid to make your new memories with your kid that you want to make. The reason I say to make your new memories and make the memories that you want to make, and you establish how your family wants to make memories with your kid, is because a lot of people will, again, put their fears onto you. So like me and Sam have said it in other videos, we've said it to people too. We love to travel, and we want our kids to love to travel, and we always envision, even going through our infertility journey and everything, one of the things we always look forward to was traveling with our future children, specifically when they're very young, and we just want them to, you know, get hit with that travel bug early and really love it like we love it. And also we have a lot of family that doesn't live in our state, and so we do travel to see family as well, not always like a vacation. Sometimes it's to see family throughout the year as well. And so that's important, obviously, for Anna to travel and meet my family that doesn't live in the state. And so, you know, we traveled with Anna at 3 months old, and we did a 24-hour plus road trip. And a lot of people were like putting fear onto us, like, oh my God, you know, I would never do that, or don't do that, or this is gonna happen, or that's gonna happen, she's not gonna be able to handle that. Like, make sure that people are not putting their fears onto you with things that you want to do. Make sure that if you want to do something, if your parenting instinct is telling you we could do this and we should do this, follow your instinct, because actually it went great and it was an amazing trip. And I love the fact that she got to meet the family that she needed to meet at an earlier age. If we would have waited, my family that's out of state didn't really get to come to New York until her first birthday, so they would have met her. They met her at 3 months versus a year, and that's a big gap. And you know, if we would have let those fears get to us, if we would have kind of let people get in our ears, we wouldn't have made those memories. And that also, the reason I say make the memories that you want to make and what your family wants to be and what your family is comfortable with, is because it's not just traveling. Like, sometimes people will tell you, oh, don't do that yet, wait till she's 1, wait till she's 2, wait till she's 3, wait till she's this age, or wait till this, or wait till this. It's like, I'm the type of person, like, we can do it again when she's 3 if you want to make that another memory, but I'm gonna do it when I want to do it. And I feel like that established that Anna's only a year old, and I feel like we've gotten to do so many amazing things with her. And of course, we're gonna continue to be a family, continue to grow, continue to thrive, and continue to make more memories with her. But nothing can change the memories we've made with her in this first year, and I wouldn't change the little things that we did that maybe people don't normally do with their 6-month-old or their 1-year-old. You know, maybe people normally wait till they're over a year to travel for the first time, or maybe people normally wait till they're old enough to understand what a museum is, you know, but we just do things what we think is fun, what we think is a good thing, and we love exposing Anna to new experiences. And for us, we think that it's great. The earlier you get those new experiences, the better, because I feel like you get those new experiences, and even though you're young and you may not remember, I feel like you do keep certain imprints in your mind. And just for us, we just love exposing her to new things, and that's not going to change. She's going to get those memories when she's older as well, but she's here now, and we want to enjoy her, and we looked forward to her for so long. And you know, we're gonna enjoy her at every age, and we're not gonna wait till she's a certain age, because you can't wait in life. You have to live as you're living, and we're gonna enjoy her now, and we're gonna enjoy her later. So yeah, I just make the memories you want to make. If there's something you really want to do with your kid, don't listen to other people when they say that they wouldn't do it. That's for them to decide, and you know, respect it if they're a different type of parent. If they have children and they're like, well, I would never do that, as long as you're not harming your children, like, you should be able to make memories, even if it's not something that people normally do. If something's taboo or whatever, you know, don't worry about things like that. But my fourth one is to, okay, so I always talk about this. I say in the beginning of postpartum, don't worry about the house, don't worry about the cleaning, worry about bonding with your kid, caring for your kid, establishing a new family. But I get a lot of people like, okay, but my kid's like 8 months old now and the house is still a mess and I still don't know how to juggle. Or my kid's, you know, a toddler now and the house is crazy and the kid's running around. Of course, there comes a point where you have to find ways in that new normal and the fact that you have a kid now to, you know, also keep your house organized and clean. You don't want, it's different if you're 3 weeks postpartum and the house is a little messy and you're too busy breastfeeding, too busy trying to sleep when the baby sleeps, or too busy trying to bond, versus when your kid is 6 months old and starts crawling and you're like, well, I have to clean because now they're taking stuff off the floor, or now Anna's walking. We have to keep the house a certain level of clean. And, you know, because we have a toddler who's running around and will pick things up, and we have to keep the house child-proofed. And also, the cleanliness of your home, the atmosphere of your home, and the feeling of your home affects your mental health. And so obviously you want to have a clean home, and you want to have an organized home. You want to have a nice home. Whether you have 1 kid, 2 kids, 4 kids, and whether you have toddlers, babies, you want to eventually do that. And so there has to come a point, and most likely it's going to come after that postpartum, you know, when you start feeling more like yourself, period. But what I say, slowly, don't rush into it, but do little things that's going to establish new routines to help you be less stressed and keep an organized and flowing home with your new and growing family. So I'll give you a few examples of some things that me and Sam have kind of picked up that are really helping to keep this house clean and organized with a 1-year-old toddler, and kind of just running more smoothly as our child is growing and as now we're more of an established family. One is meal prepping. So we always make sure we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner prepped. On days that we're filming, I'll always make sure that we have food prepped the night before for at least 1 to 2 days, so that we can film and worry about like editing and YouTube and all that stuff, and kind of like, because we film around the time that we would ordinarily cook dinner. And so if we were to not kind of do that, then we'd be backed up and it just kind of cause a lot of stress and chaos. So we always make sure that since we film on Mondays, we meal prep on Sundays for Monday, and usually Monday and Tuesday if we can. Another good thing is, honestly, every day is kind of like, it can be crazy to try and fit in everything that you're doing. I work from home and take care of Anna, as well as like running on the editing of our YouTube and things like that. So it can be chaotic and things like that. So some of the other things is, what we'll do is at the end of the night, we'll set a timer for like 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll clean what we can. We'll clean the important things like the kitchen, the bathroom, you know, things you want to have always clean. And whatever can get done in those 15 to 20 minutes, like the priorities, can get done, and whatever can't, just doesn't get done. But normally, with the fact that we put Anna to bed now and she sleeps through the night, we're able to get a good substantial amount of cleanliness done and get, you know, within those 20 minutes, and then relax with each other for the rest of the night. And whatever doesn't get done, I set another timer in the morning, like after my workout, before I start working, for 10 minutes, and I just tidy up the last minute things. And the other thing that I do to kind of keep the house more in order is I try my best. It doesn't always get done, but I try my best to do the dishes as they acquire, because I feel like dishes is a big thing because you're eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and there's just always dishes. That doesn't always happen for me with working from home and taking care of Anna, because if I'm feeding her lunch and then running to a meeting, I might not get to those lunch dishes, but then I try to get to them as quickly as I can. Try. And that's why I say establish those routines slowly, but the most important thing in establishing those routines is give yourself grace and flexibility in those routines, because not every day is going to go as smoothly. Even if you're putting those routines in place, sometimes your routines are going to fall apart because your schedule falls apart, or your day just changes, or something gets thrown, or the kids are having an off day, or you're having an off day. So give yourself grace even in trying to find those routines. Not every day is going to go smooth. And then my 5th tip is don't forget to make time for yourself and time for you and your spouse now that you are parents. So obviously in the beginning days, in those postpartum days, those bonding days, those first few days, it's probably not going to be about that, and that's okay. If you're completely obsessed with your new baby, you're establishing breastfeeding, you're bonding, all those things, it's probably not going to be about that. But at some point, you have to also take care of yourself and your spouse and your relationship. Because always remember, like this, a lot of people, like they get mom guilt when they're taking time for themselves or taking time for them and their spouse. But honestly, remember that the more you take care of yourself and your self-care, and the more you and your spouse take care of each other and your relationship, the healthier you're going to be as a mom, the healthier your marriage and your relationship is going to be, and that means the healthier your household is going to be. So the more healthy you guys are going to be for your child, and the more healthy your home as a unit is going to be, which means you're raising a child in a healthy environment, which is the most important thing. And the reason why self-care is so important now that you're a mom is because you can get burnt out more easily, and you just have more to do, and you're responsible for keeping this human alive. So you have to also take care of yourself, because you're going to be the better mom as someone who is good with self-care, and your relationship is going to be healthier as partners who make time for each other. And like I said, you're going to end up raising your child in a healthier home that way, which raises a healthier kid, which is super important. So it all connects, so don't have guilt in it. And my last, bonus tip is to embrace whatever season of motherhood you're in. So if you see these tips and you're like, I can't do that yet, my kid's 2 months old and everything's crazy, that's okay. Like, save it, rewatch this video in another month, whatever. Like, if you're in the stage where the house is just a mess, you're postpartum, all you do is take care of the baby and get like one chore done a day, and you're completely exhausted and the baby's not sleeping, that's okay. Embrace the stage of motherhood you're in, and just, try each day. That's all you can do, and give yourself grace. So don't compare to other moms, and don't, if something's not for you, it's not for you. This is just advice, and it's just what helped me. But everyone's different, and you might have to kind of tweak some things or do things differently or do things for you, which is part of my advice as well. So embrace your household and what you need and the stage of motherhood you're in, and just always enjoy motherhood and always enjoy your child, because they're blessings as well. So that's my advice for you guys for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped kind of shed light on something that maybe a new mom needed to hear, and I'll see you guys in the next one.